Good evening, everybody. I'm here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium as the River Bandits are facing off the Fuquay Varina Twins. I'm Dominic Kasolki, and we're super excited to get started here in Tarboro. It's been almost a week since the River Bandits' last game. They played the Clovers 6 days ago. As Ian Askin is on the mound for the River Bandits, his first pitch gets a big swing and a miss. Ian Askin starting on the mound, and Oliver Zahn, the center fielder for the Fuquay Varina Twins, leading off. Askin's 0-1 pitch is in there for strike two as Oliver Zahn cannot hold up. Ian Askin, number on his jersey is 50. On our sideline HD, it's 37. It's only his second game here. So he gets a big swing and a miss, 3 pitches, and a strikeout to start out the game for the River Bandits. That brings up Caden Rector, their second baseman for the Twins. Ian Askin, as I was saying, was his only second game here, and it's his last game, so pitched one game for the River Bandits. Pitched a good one, and it was against the Twins, the River Bandits' last time up against the Twins, as they won that game 17-6, a beatdown of the Twins. In that game, he pitched a strong 4 innings. He started that game. 1 hit and 1 earned run, but he did have 5 walks, and there's ball 2. So he's hoping to keep that walk count down here in the start of this game. It's a 2.25 ERA, and he left 3 on base during that game. It's a 2-0 count here against Caden Rector. Here's the pitch home, as that is in there for strike 1. Hope the crowd continues to get bigger. We have a nice crowd here in Tarboro. Not a divisional game, so those divisional games are always the most crowd. As that breaking ball sails high for ball 3. 3-1 count here against Caden Rector. You love to see it packed. Still a nice crowd. Not as packed as you would hope. But it is against a non-divisional team in the Twins, and we've beat down on them a couple times. That's high for ball 4 as Ian Askin throws his first walk of the game against Caden Rector. Brings up Billy Waldron, their right fielder tonight, with 1 out and a man on first base. Askin against the Twins in that first outing. He walked a man, and that man got home stealing, and just to look at it, he's catching on to runners stealing on him. He already throws back to first right after the man gets on. So Rector's inching towards second. He wants to go. I imagine he will at some point. That is outside for ball 1. Askin sitting on the mound at 6'10", listed at 6'10" on one college and 6'9" on another. I'll let you know where he's been and where he's at now. He throws back to first again, does not want Rector to steal. Ian Askin started out his college career at East Tennessee State. He's listed there at 6'9", and he's now at Barton College at 6'10". Maybe he grew an inch. That gets to the backstop. Josh Wilson can't get a hold of it, and Caden Rector is going to run over to second safely. So now a man in scoring position with 1 out, a 2-0 count here against Billy Waldron. Ian Askin at Barton College had a 7.71 ERA as he throws back over to second, very softly, just telling that runner to stay put. He gets back on the mound. He has 7.71 ERA with a 1-2 win-loss ratio in 11 appearances. He started 2 of those games. Has 14 innings pitched, 15 hits, 12 earned runs, 16 walks, 17 strikeouts. Here's a pitch home, and that's high for ball 3. 3-0 count here already against Billy Waldron right after he walked Caden Rector, and Caden Rector got over to second with a wild pitch. So he's trying not to let Waldron get to first. Here's the pitch home, and that's in there for strike one. Hits the lower half of that fastball, trying to work himself back into this count. Let you know the defensive positions here for the River Bandits after this at bat. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is upstairs for ball 4. Walks 2 consecutive batters, and Billy Waldron is now on first base. Brings up Dylan Sullivan. Dylan Sullivan, their DH tonight. He's their cleanup hitter with men on first and second with no outs. Ian Askin in a bit of a predicament here, a bit of a jam to start the game, trying to get out of it in his last River Bandit outing. I said he's only had 1 River Bandit outing, 2 starts. Here's the pitch home as he cannot hold up. It's in there anyways for strike 1. Ian Askin on the mound, catching for the River Bandits, Josh Wilson. At first base, Max Bernal. At second, Mitch Jones. Shortstop is Johnny Wall tonight, and at third base is Preston Shelton. Runner at second is inching his way towards third. Here's the pitch home. He gets a big swing and a miss for strike 2. For the River Bandits outfield, they have Cruz Newman at left. At center field, Ethan Barnes, and at right field, Eston Snyder. So 0-2 with men on first and second. Ian Askin trying to get out of this jam. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's hit hard into center field. It's going to get past, and the runners are going to stay put at first, second, and third. Bases are going to be loaded with 1 out. A base knock for their DH cleanup hitter, Dylan Sullivan. Gets in between Mitch Jones and Johnny Wall at second base. I wanted to talk about the OBX game last night that the River Bandits had. River Bandits won that 17-0, and it looks just like the first inning. Looks just like the first inning of the last game as that pitch comes home. Breaking ball gets in there for strike 1. As Ryan Nielsen started the game against the Scallywags last night, he got in the bases loaded jam in the first, and he got out of it. And you know what he did? He went out there and pitched 5 innings with only 3 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. River Bandits shut them out in that game. That's in there for strike 2. That fastball clips the black against Brendan Burke. This would be a big strikeout as the sac fly is in play. So Ryan Nielsen with an amazing outing last night. Could have started out bad, could have made a different outing. He gets a big swing and a miss, gets to the backstop. Runner's going to come home. The throw over to Ian Askin, not in time. Runner's going to get home on the strikeout. Unfortunate for the River Bandits. They do get out number 2. Now men on second and third with 2 outs. Still striking distance for the Twins as it brings up Aiden Brown, their left fielder tonight. Here's the pitch home. That is low and outside for ball 1. So the Twins get their first runner home in Caden Rector. After Ian Askin throws a strikeout, Josh Wilson can get a hold of it as it gets to the backstop, and Rector gets home safely. 1-0 Twins. Here's a pitch home, and that is inside for ball 2. A bit of deja vu as Ian Askin's first game, he let a man steal twice. I know it's not the exact same thing, but let him steal twice and then got home with a ground ball sacrifice. And it stayed at 1-0. If he can keep this at 1-0, then the River Bandits came back and they absolutely dominated the rest of that game. Twins never had a lead again in that game as the River Bandits won 17-6. They scored 12 in that second inning. See if maybe the River Bandits can do that again. They don't have Espinal in this game as Espinal hit 2 home runs in that game in that second inning. That was a wild game to watch. I loved it. See if Askin can get out of it. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that clips the inside corner for strike 1. We finally have sunny skies here in Tarboro. Been a lot of rain. We had a game rained out. That's why it's been 6 games since our last game. That's flied out over to left field. Cruz Newman is going to get under that for out number 3. River Bandits strand them on second and third. 1 run does get home, and that'll be the end of the first inning. 1-0 Fuquay Varina Twins. We'll see you here in the bottom of the first inning. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Preston Shelton leading off for the River Bandits here. We're in the bottom of the first inning. The Twins added 1 as the Twins' first pitch is upstairs for ball 1 against Preston Shelton. On the mound for the Twins is Matt Sullivan. He's working fast. The pitch home fouled out of play. Preston Shelton on the season with a .342 batting average, .402 on base percentage, 25 hits on the season, 21 singles, 3 doubles, and a home run. He has 16 runs on the season and 14 RBIs. So a 2-1 count as Matt Sullivan is working insanely fast. So I missed that pitch. Here's the pitch home. Preston Shelton grounds it shortly over to second base. He tries to beat it out, not in time. Out number 1 for the Twins. Preston Shelton softly grounded that out over to Caden Rector. That brings up our shortstop, Johnny Wall. Johnny Wall's been playing some great defense here for the River Bandits. Here's the pitch home. He hits that hard into center field. Their center fielder, Oliver Zahn, is going to get under that for out number 2. 2 quick outs from Matt Sullivan. That brings up Cruz Newman. Brings up Cruz Newman with a .391 batting average. Here's the pitch home, and that's way outside for ball 1. Cruz Newman has 9 hits on the season, 4 singles, 4 doubles, and a home run. He's been spreading out his hits. He has 5 RBIs. He has been on the team for only 6 games. He pops that up over to center field, a lot farther than a pop-up, but he does get under that for out number 3. 3 quick outs for Matt Sullivan and the Twins. That'll be the end of the first inning. Only about 5 or 6 pitches for Matt Sullivan. Going to have to work that pitch count up for the River Bandits. So we'll see you here in the top half of the second as Ian Askin is coming out on the mound once again. Nolan Lawrence leading off the top half of the second for the Fuquay Varina Twins. River Bandits couldn't respond to the Twins' first run in the first inning, and they go 1-2-3. Ian Askin back on the mound for the River Bandits. Here's his first pitch of the at-bat, and that is in there for strike one. Facing off against Nolan Lawrence. Nolan Lawrence, their third baseman tonight. His 0-1 pitch gets a big swing and a miss from Lawrence for strike two. Nolan Lawrence on the season has 33 at-bats, 9 runs, 8 hits, 3 doubles, no home runs, and 12 walks with 12 strikeouts. This is on the Twins website, so cannot tell you how accurate this is. If this was 5 games ago, if it was last night, I have no idea, but this is what the Twins are putting out, so I'm going to let you all know what they have about their players. So here is the 1-2 pitch from Askin, and that is inside. Lawrence has to back away from that one, makes it 2-2. Two-two count against Lawrence. Ian Askin trying to get the leadoff man out, not to get anyone on the bases. It was trouble last inning. A man got in after a wild pitch. Here's the pitch home, and that slides outside for ball 3 as Nolan Lawrence works it full. Full count here on the leadoff man. Here's the payoff pitch. Gets a big swing and a miss. He goes reaching for that one for strike 3. Big strikeout from Askin to get the leadoff man and Nolan Lawrence out. Brings up their catcher, Ethan Robinson. Ethan Robinson on the season. 18 at-bats with 2 hits, it says. So this is definitely earlier in the season. Don't know how much I'm going to use these stats because I don't know how reliable that is. Maybe it was only a few games into the season. I don't want to lowball their players. So a 1-0 pitch against Robinson. Sails high for ball 2. Two-0 pitch here against Ethan Robinson. His pitch home is in there for strike 1. Last night, as I was mentioning, River Bandits defeated OBX 17-0. That was a beatdown against a divisional rival. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is outside and high for ball 3. Beating a divisional rival has come to be tough this season, as we've had a 7-game losing streak against the Steamers and the Scallywags. That was our first win against them in a while. So he gets a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Another full count here in the second inning. It had been since June 15th that the River Bandits beat the Steamers 8-3. That was the last divisional win. He fouls that back, stays alive. So a long time. Almost a whole month since beating a divisional rival. So here's the payoff pitch with 1 out. He just spoils that, fouls it over to their dugout. River Bandits, ever since the big game against the Scallywags, where we had 2 of our coaches thrown out from some questionable umpiring at home plate, there has been a little skid against division rivals. Fouled off again, a pesky at bat here from their catcher, Ethan Robinson. Big scuffle, lots of trash talking there in that game. That was a fun game to announce. River Bandits did lose that game. It's the payoff pitch, and he just gets a piece of it. Josh Wilson can't get a hold of it as it hits him somewhere, and he has to walk it off. 3 consecutive foul balls here from Ethan Robinson, staying alive. I'm excited to be back here announcing. Like I said, it's been 6 days since River Bandits had a game. They played the Clovers. That was a fun one. They did lose 7-8 as came back from 6-1, made it a very close game in the bottom half of the ninth. River Bandits had 2 on with no outs and hit into a line-out double play to their second baseman. Just an unfortunate play. He hit it hard. Just didn't get the base knock, didn't move the runners, and actually took away the first base runner. Ended up losing 7-8. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball is upstairs for ball 4. Ethan Robinson stayed alive with 4 foul balls and then works the walk. Brings up Jackson Masterson, their shortstop, in the bottom of their lineup. They don't have an extra hitter tonight. River Bandits do have that 10th hitter. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. As it looks just like the first inning where Askin gets that first out with a big strikeout and then walks the next man. Don't want the same thing to happen. Want to keep the runner stranded there. He holds up, but it's in there for strike 1. 1-0 game here in the top half of the second. Plenty of game. River Bandits bats hoping to stay alive with those 17 runs last night. Pitch home, breaking balls upstairs. You always want to match those 17 runs. You're not always going to do that, but you hope to get the bats alive somehow. You don't want a low-scoring 2, 3, 4-run game affair. So you know the River Bandits bats can get very hot. That is in there for strike 2, just on the outside corner. Batter Jackson Masterson asking where that was. Looked a bit outside. Ian Askin will take that, and so will all River Bandits fans. Don't want to walk another batter. Here's the 2-2 pitch with an out. That breaking ball is inside and upstairs for ball 3. Another full count, the 3rd of the inning. He looks over at first. Jackson Masterson at the plate in the full count. Here's the payoff pitch. He can't hold up. He's out of there for strike 3. Goes back to the top of the batting lineup for the Twins and Oliver Zahn. Oliver Zahn struck out in the first inning. Already another at bat here in the second with a man on first and 2 outs. A 1-0 ball game. That pitch is in there for strike 1. River Bandits on the season 12-11 on a 1-game win streak. I don't know if you call that a win streak, but trying to start something. Fastball's in there for strike 2. River Bandits can get hot. They've been hot and cold this season, went on a couple win streaks and a couple losing streaks. Hoping to get the second half of the season going after the All-Star break. Here's the pitch home. He hits it over to Johnny Wall at shortstop. He makes a diving play to throw over to first. It is offline, not in time, but he saves him from going to third. But now at first, Max Bernal lets it get away from him for a second, and that runner gets over to third. So now runners on the corners with 2 outs. As that was a sharply hit ball over to Johnny Wall. A great diving play. Make sure he does not let that get into left field. That's a tough play from everybody on the defense, and Johnny Wall and Max Bernal, as Wall made the great diving play to stop it, but the throw was offline, made it tough for Max Bernal over there at first. Ian Askin still a chance to get out of this with no runs. Runners on the corners. We'll see if the man's going to go. We don't know if Josh Wilson wants to throw it over to risk that runner getting home if the throw is offline. As I was mentioning, the bats can be hot, they can be cold. They've scored 17 twice this season, once against the Twins. And they've scored it once again against the Scallywags last night. They scored 15 this season against the Scallywags and 23 against the Steamers. So they can do it against any team. It's just hot or cold sometimes. If they get those bats hot like that every night, they're going to be unstoppable. As I know they can do it. They are 12 and 11. But very, very possible. Still plenty of games left. 3 weeks until the playoffs. That pitch breaking ball is in there for strike one. Ian Ashkin trying to strand those runners on the corners. He's facing off against Caden Rector, who worked a walk in the first inning. He's the man who scored. He has that first run for the Twins. Runner's going to go. It's going to be a throw over to second. Runner's going to go home. The throw home. Josh Wilson's going to be there and make the tag. He's out. Great play. Josh Wilson had a hard throw over to second, and the throw back home is very much on line. Josh Wilson is there in plenty of time. So runner gets thrown out. Great play from the both of them. That'll be the end of the second inning. We'll see you back here in the bottom of the second. So River Bandits going to try to respond to that 1-0 lead for the Twins. Here in the bottom half of the second as Essen Snyder's leading off the River Bandits. He hits it hard into center field. That's going to be a base knock for Essen Snyder as he has been hot recently. Got his batting average up to a 283 now. So one pitch and one base knock. Hit over to center field. Essen Snyder at a point at a 115 batting average, and he's worked that all the way up to 283 now. He has been scorching hot as of late. Now up to bat, Colin Hughes. Colin Hughes hit a grand slam last night, part of that 17-run win. A 1-0 count against him. Here's a pitch home. He grounds that out over to first, and the first baseman is not going to be able to get to it. Brendan Burke couldn't get to it. The throw to third is not in time. Runner's going to get to second, slide in, and he's safe. River Bandits on second and third with no outs. Big hit there from Colin Hughes to get past Brendan Burke, and some great base running from Essen Snyder to go to third, and then Colin Hughes takes advantage, goes to second. Brings up our first baseman, Max Bernal, with runners in scoring position. Max Bernal, with 3 games played for the River Bandits, still a newer player, as there's going to be a mound visit here from Ethan Robinson talking to Matt Sullivan. As Sullivan in his first inning just went 1-2-3 in 6 pitches. Now he's in a big jam with no outs on second and third. Max Bernal getting a part of his glove on, thrown over from Eston Snyder. As in the chat, we have Noel Bernal cheering on Max from California, hoping for a big at-bat from Max. Here's the pitch home as he fouls that back for strike one. Max Bernal on the season has 9 plate appearances with a .250 batting average, has 2 hits, 2 singles. Here's the pitch home. That's outside for ball one. Hoping for another single here, or really anything to get the runner home. A sac fly would do it too, tie this ball game up here in the second. Max Bernal gets hit by the pitch. Upper arm, could be his shoulder, and Matt Sullivan is in a bases loaded jam now with no outs. Keith Gardner now at the plate with the bases loaded and no outs. His last game was against the Clovers where he had 2 hits. And he gets hit by the pitch directly after 2 pitches in a row, a hit by pitch. And that's going to bring home the first run for the River Bandits. Eston Snyder's going to walk home safely after the hit by pitch. 1-1 ball game here. Sullivan losing his control here, hitting 2 batters in a row in Max Bernal and Keith Gardner. Brings up Ethan Barnes. As there was a grand slam last night, we're hoping for another. Ethan Barnes looks at strike one. Barnes last game against the Clovers. He hits it back towards the pitcher. It's going to get past him, and it's going to go into center field. That's going to bring one run home, and the runner at third is going to stay put as there's a great throw from center field in Oliver Zahn, but that does bring another run home. Colin Hughes gets home safely and makes the lead 2-1 for the River Bandits. An RBI single from Ethan Barnes. Brings up Mitch Jones with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch home. He hits it hard over past the third baseman. That's going to bring one home. Keith Gardner's going to stay put at third as he hit that so sharply over their left fielder, Aiden Brown. Another run home, a RBI single from Mitch Jones. He ripped that past Nolan Lawrence, and Max Bernal walks in safely. Having a mound visit with Matt Sullivan, so we'll let you know what's going on. No work in the bullpen, but just a reminder, if you haven't been watching, there is music playing. We don't want to get copyrighted on YouTube. Well, the music just went off. I can continue talking, but when there is music and your TV or whatever you're watching it on goes mute or silent, it's not lagging. It's me muting my mic because I don't want to get copyrighted here on YouTube. So music is back on, but we'll see you here as Josh Wilson is coming to the plate. Don't want to say I kind of predicted it, but here's the pitch home, and that is upstairs for ball one. But I did say in the first game, 1 run home in the first inning from Ian Askin, and then he pitched great after that, and the River Bandits had a big second inning. So far, that's what's been going on. Ball 2 here against Josh Wilson. I don't know, 12 runs would be a hard feat to get again in that second inning, but it's definitely possible with no outs here. He hits it hard over to left center field. Josh Wilson hits it, and it's caught over by the center fielder. Going to be a sac fly, and Keith Gardner is going to walk home. A very hard hit ball to left center field from Josh Wilson, but he does get the job done to bring home Keith Gardner. Makes it 4-1. Brings up Preston Shelton with runners on the corners and 1 out. A 4-1 ball game now. Here's the pitch home as Preston Shelton grounds it softly over to their shortstop. Shortstop's going to have no play at second. Throw over to first is in time. Very close play. A very hard call from the first base umpire, but it does bring home another run. Preston Shelton with an RBI ground out.
Now batting number 22, the shortstop, Johnny Wall.
Brings up our shortstop, Johnny Wall. Johnny Wall, our shortstop, is batting .400 on the season. He's statistically our highest batting average with a .463 on base percentage as well. He's down in the count 0-1 with a runner at second. He looks at that strike, 0-2. River Bandits put 5 up in the inning. Still have a chance to put on more. It looks like Mitch Jones over at second. Just pitch home the wall as he pops that up over in shallow left center. Their left fielder gets under it for out number 3. Aiden Brown catches that. That'll be the end of the second inning. River Bandits put up a 5 spot in the second and take the lead back. Not as big as that 12-run inning last time against the Twins, but they put up 5, and that's good enough to take a big lead here early on in the game. We'll see it back here. Ian Askin has some run support taken on the mound for the third inning. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Hayden Rector leading off the top half of the third. The runner was thrown out trying to get home in the second inning while he was in the middle of his at-bat. I don't know the count of his at-bat, but he was definitely in the middle of it, and he's getting another chance here. Here's the pitch home from Askin, and that breaking ball gets in there for strike one. He's a nice-looking slider to his pitch mix. And he definitely has some run support now as the River Bandits put up 5. Sliders outside for ball 1. On the game, Ian Askin, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run. He does have 3 walks, but 4 strikeouts, so that's walks. Again, really the only thing doing some damage to him as that's popped up out of play. Facing off against Caden Rector, who worked that walk. He's the 1 run for the Twins. Rector down in the count 1-2. Ian Askin with a ground out over to Johnny Wall. The throw over to first. Inside to Max Bernal for out number 1. Great hard throw from Johnny Wall, and Max Bernal makes the play at first. Ian Askin at 54 pitches through 2 1/3. See how long they keep him out there. Have a little bit of bullpen work already. Here's the pitch home, and that's outside for ball 1. So Ian Askin has gotten the leadoff man out in the first 3 innings, but then he's walked the next man in the first 2. Let's hope he doesn't walk another man here. Goes 1, 2, 3 in the third and keeps his outing going. That's upstairs for ball 1, or ball 2, excuse me. So 2-0 count with Askin, and that is low and inside for ball 3. Looking like the first 2 innings, gets a first big out on the leadoff man, and then struggles to find that command on the second batter. But he has been doing a great job getting out of the jams, and that's in there on the outside corner for strike 1. Three-1 count here against Billy Waldron. Here's the pitch home, and that is in there. That fastball works it full. A full count. I believe it's the 4th full count of the game. Had 3 in that second inning, and that's going to be another walk for Ian Askin. Billy Waldron's going to run over to first with a walk, and it brings up Dylan Sullivan, their designated hitter. Dylan Sullivan with one of the 2 Fuquay Varina Twins hits. So man on first, 1 out. Throw over to first. Max Bernal catches it, but no play over to get the man out. As I mentioned, I don't really want to mention the Twins player stats, as it looks like they are very old. I don't know if players are on hot or cold streaks. I don't want to tell them their batting average is 180 if it's 320 now. So gonna let you watch their play and predict what their batting average or any stat you want to see for yourself. That's hit hard over to left field. Cruz Newman's going to get under that for out number 2.
Next to the plate for the Twins, number 27, the first baseman, Brendan Burke.
No chance for Billy Waldron to tag and go over to second. Cruz Newman gets that shallow left field for out number 2. Now brings up Brendan Burke, their first baseman. Righty-lefty matchup against Burke. Throw over to first, not in time. Two walks on the game for Billy Waldron. He's going to go. The throw from Josh Wilson as it gets out of his glove. Can't make the exchange, and there's going to be no throw. So now a 1-0 count with Waldron over at second, scoring position, trying their best to add on to their 1 run as River Bandits have 5 now. Big change in momentum in the game. A 2-0 count now against Burke. I mentioned that the River Bandits bats can be hot or cold sometimes, but last night, 17 runs, and told you how many runs they've gotten in past games. Now this run, 5 runs in the second inning. We're hoping can stay that way. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Sails upstairs, above the letters for ball 3. Work in the bullpen. Looks like Camden Martindale. It is Camden Martindale, so he looks to be the first man out of the pen for the River Bandits. We'll see how long Askin has that command for, as that's in there for strike 1. Can only imagine they let him stay out there for at least the end of this inning, and I imagine he'll come out to start the 4th. We'll see how his command is in the 4th. As he gets a big swing and a miss for strike 2, works it full. 5th full count of the game for Askin, so his pitch count is getting up there. He's at 67 pitches through 2 2/3. Man on second, 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is in there for strike 3. He freezes Brendan Burke for out number 3. Ian Askin strands that man over at second, and River Bandits keep the game 5-1. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Cruz Newman leading off for the River Bandits in the bottom half of the third. 5-1 ball game. He looks at ball one low. In the second inning, River Bandits put up 5. They had a single from Snyder lead off. He grounds that out over towards first. The first baseman, Brendan Burke, runs away from it. It looks like he might have had a chance at that ball, but he goes over to first thinking their second baseman, Caden Rector, was there for the play, and he was not. That gets into right field for a base knock to lead off for Cruz Newman. Brings up Eston Snyder. Eston Snyder led off that second inning with a single as he pops that up over towards third base side and out of play. 0-1 count against him. After the single from Snyder, Colin Hughes hit a ground ball. Another single, then a hit by pitch to Max Bernal. Another hit by pitch to Keith Gardner. A single from Ethan Barnes brought home another. Mitch Jones hit a line drive single. Oh, that is way inside for ball one against Eston Snyder. Had to back away from that one. Then a sacrifice, a ground out sacrifice, and a fly out. But they do put up 5. Snyder pops that up this time. Could be in play. Their catcher cannot get to it. It hits the top of the stadium. But now strike 2 against Snyder. Snyder, I mentioned earlier, he has been up in his batting average, up in his game in general. Now up to 283 on the season. Definitely even up more now after that first hit. So a 1-2 pitch against Snyder. He holds up, and that's inside. 2-2 count. Cruz Newman over there at first with no outs. 5-1 ball game. River Bandits have 5 hits now on the game. No walks for Matt Sullivan. Just 2 hit batters and 5 hits. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He gets struck out looking. Freezes Eston Snyder on that inside corner. Brings up Colin Hughes with Cruz Newman over there at first. Righty-lefty matchup. He looks at strike 1. Colin Hughes, I mentioned, had that single. Big part in that 5-run inning. Colin Hughes last game had 2 hits, 4 RBIs, a walk, and 3 runs. Runner's going to go. Cruz Newman is going to slide in, and he's safe. Their shortstop, Jackson Masterson, drops it a little bit, made a little bobble, but it was a softly thrown ball from Ethan Robinson. Either way, Cruz Newman was going to slide in safe. (1-1) here against Colin Hughes. The reason Hughes had that 4 RBI game was a big grand slam and that 17-0 beatdown of the Scallywags. You know they just had to put some hurt into their locker or their dugout, not locker room. 2-1 against Hughes now. He's trying to have another big game. Cruz Newman in scoring position with 1 out. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that sails upstairs for ball 3. Colin Hughes on the season, .262 batting average, .407 on base percentage, has 11 hits, 6 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 home runs, one of them last night in that grand slam. 12 RBIs, so he got 4 of them last night. He's starting to get his bat hot as he looks at a ball for ball 4. Colin Hughes works the walk, and it brings up Max Bernal, who got hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. That was I believe an RBI hit by a pitch. They put in Colin Hughes because his bat was getting hot. He's an extra hitter tonight. Put Josh Wilson catching. Now at the plate, Max Bernal. He looks at ball 1. Max Bernal's hit by pitch was actually not an RBI. This time he fouls that out of play, 1-1. There was runners on second and third after the hit by pitch, and he went over to first. Then Keith Gardner got hit by the pitch, and that was the first RBI of the game there. So 1-1, that is upstairs for ball 2. Partly cloudy skies here, beautiful night for baseball. It's getting pretty hot. The crowd has gotten bigger here in Tarboro. The bats are hot for him. Here's the pitch, and it's hit hard into center field. Oliver Zahn is going to look at that, get under it. Runner is not going to tag. Cruz Newman stays put at second, which is probably smart. Good arm from Oliver Zahn. Keith Gardner with the hit by pitch in his last at bat in the second inning. Already now another at bat here in the third with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Pitch home, he fouls that back. Chance to add on to that 5-1 lead. Keep the bats hot. Have Colin Hughes over there at first. And Cruz Newman at second. Sullivan, pitch count. He's got to be getting up there now a little bit. Keith Gardner hits it right back at him. Over towards second. He's going to make the play over to first in time. Keith Gardner is thrown out at first. At the end of the bottom half of the third, a 5-1 ball game. River Bandits get stranded at first and second. Big time for the River Bandits to keep this 5-1 lead. We'll hope that they can do it as Camden Martindale's coming in for relief of Ian Askin. Ian Askin with a solid 3 innings. We'll see you here. You're watching Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. We're here in the top of the 4th inning as River Bandits have a 5-1 lead against the Fuquay Varina Twins. Camden Martindale coming in for relief of Ian Askin. Camden Martindale's first pitch is low and outside for ball 1. Camden Martindale on the season has 19 1/3 innings pitched. Most likely after this game will be the most on the team, as in first is tied Bryant Baranek and Ryan Nielsen with 19 2/3. That's inside for ball 2. So he has had a lot of innings thrown here for the River Bandits. That is a good thing, though, as he's had 6 games played. So he's been doing his job out here, coming in for relief a lot of the time. Well, actually, his first 2 games were started, and then out of the next 4, now 5, have been out of the bullpen. So they've started putting him in the bullpen, and he's been doing his job. He's been going 2, 3, 4 innings. That's hit into right field. That's going to be a little blooper, and that's just fair. Runner's going to stay at first. As Eston Snyder throws it in, gets to it quickly. Aiden Brown with a little blooper into shallow right field, right on the line. Unfortunate for Camden Martindale to start his outing. But on the season, he has 1 win and 1 loss, 16 hits against, 10 earned runs, 11 walks, 14 strikeouts, and a .465 ERA. Batters are hitting .208 against him. So runner at first and Aiden Brown, so that's in there for strike 1. Nolan Lawrence now at the plate, as Nolan Lawrence, his last at bat, worked a walk, a long walk, fouled off 4 or 5 pitches straight against Ian Askin. 0-1 count here against Lawrence. The man at first. Here's a pitch home. He bunts. It's going to be a good bunt. Throw over to first from Camden Martindale in time, but he advances the runner. The sacrifice bunt from Nolan Lawrence. Good play from Camden Martindale to get there quickly. And the throw over to Max Bernal in time for out number 1. Still a runner in scoring position now in Aiden Brown. Ethan Robinson at the plate. Camden Martindale taking a long look into the sign from Josh Wilson. Taking his time with the man in scoring position. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat, and that hits the outside black for strike 1. Ian Askin on the game. His outing was pretty solid with 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Those walks upped his pitch count and didn't let him go very deep into the game, but nothing too serious happened with him, and he's in line for the win right now. That's strike 2 in there. Nice breaking ball from Camden Martindale. Aiden Brown at second is jumping all around down the baseline. 0-2 count with 1 out, and Camden Martin's going to step off the mound, look over at Aiden Brown, must be geeking him out there. Camden Martin does 0-2 pitch, and it's a big swing and a miss from Ethan Robinson. Camden Martindale gets a big out to keep that runner over at second. Now 2 outs, and Jackson Masterson at the plate. Jackson Masterson, the bottom of their batting order, but he does have a man in scoring position trying to inch away at that 5-1 lead of the River Bandits. Camden Martindale looks over at second. First pitch of the at-bat over to Jackson Masterson is just outside. A nice breaking ball, but Masterson holds up. Sun is starting to set here in Tarboro. Lights are coming on. It's a beautiful night for some baseball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ooh, he goes reaching for that one. Strike 1. Camden Martindale has been going at least 2 innings, and pretty much all of his outings. I can see him going 2, 3, 4 here. Runner goes. The pitch home is in there, and there's going to be no throw. No need to right now with two strikes, 1 strike away from ending the inning and stranding that man at third. Don't want to risk throwing it to Preston Shelton and it getting away and bringing home a run. Josh Wilson has his faith in Camden Martindale to get the out here. He looks in at the sign. 1-2 pitch here. Grounded out softly. Going to be a tough play for Shelton. The bare hand, the throw over to first is going to be high. It's going to get over to the fence. Essen Snyder's going to grab it, and there's going to be no throw. Just a tough play. Swinging bunt over to third base, and Preston Shelton makes a barehanded throw. Too high for Max Bernal. It's going to bring home the second run of the game. 5-2 River Bandits now. Shelton almost with an amazing play. He will get credit for the error, but it props to him for trying to make that tough play. The 0-2, 0-0. It's 2 outs on the inning. 1-0 on the count now for Camden Martindale. Facing off against Oliver Zahn. Man in scoring position. Here's the pitch home. And that's going to be outside for ball 2. So that steal did end up being big. He got to third, and there was a tough play. Don't think the man would have ran over or went home. Preston Shelton might not have made that throw, trying to make it because he knew that runner was going to be home. Here's the pitch home, and that's going to bounce off, and the runner's going to go to third again. This time not a steal. I don't know if I'd say a wild pitch. I don't think that was a pass ball. Now 3-0 as Camden Martindale had 2 outs looking to get out of the inning. Had 2 strikes, he's a strike away, and it's a swinging bunt. Messed everything up. Now a 3-0 count here against the leadoff hitter, Oliver Zahn. Oliver Zahn showcased his arm a few times here, keeping runners put. The 3-0 pitch, and that's upstairs for ball 4. Zahn works the walk. Runners are now going to be on the corners as a tying run, and Caden Rector is going to be at the plate. Josh Wilson going to talk to Camden Martindale. So meeting on the mound from Josh Wilson. Infield stays where they are. Runners on the corners. Josh Wilson's going to walk back and trying to calm him down a little bit. Facing off against Caden Rector. Caden Rector on the game has a walk and a run. He's the first run for the Twins. Now the second run is Aiden Brown. He stole third base and then got home on the swinging bunt RBI. I'd say that was a infield hit. Would have been really tough play to throw him out either way. Still a great try from Preston Shelton. 2 outs, runners on first and third. Runner's going to go. The throw from Josh Wilson is going to be offline. The throw home to Josh Wilson. He's going to tag him, and it's in time. Wow. He must not have got his hand in there, and he gets a tag on the foot. Jackson Masterson cannot believe it. It looked like he got in safely, but there's no reviews here, and he's going to be called out. Wow, just wow. He looked like he was going to get in there safely. Must not have gotten his hand in there. That'll be the end of the top half of the 4th. I'm in awe right now. A great throw from Johnny Wall and a great tag from Josh Wilson. That'll be the end of the top half of the 4th. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Ethan Barnes leading off the bottom half of the fourth as the Twins add one in the inning. Ethan Barnes goes hacking for that one for strike one. A questionable call at the plate. As the umpire said on his slide, he didn't get his hand in. Masterson definitely thought he did. That ball's outside for ball one. From my angle, I thought he was safe just because he got there, got to home plate in time, but umpire would know best that he didn't get his hand in there. He has the play right in front of him. He grounds out over to third. Very hard to throw over to first in time. Ethan Barnes sharply hits that to third. With their third baseman, Nolan Lawrence, darts it in for out number one.
Next up for the Bandits, number 4, the second baseman.
Mitch Jones up at the plate. Mitch Jones batting ninth in our batting order. He's our second baseman tonight. He looks at ball one. I think I said that Johnny Wall threw it home to Josh Wilson. It was Mitch Jones, our second baseman, that threw that home. So a great throw from Mitch Jones. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside. So a 2-0 count. Here's a pitch. That sails upstairs. Pitcher not happy with it as just got to look at his number. It looked like 41. It might be a new pitcher, and I just totally did not realize that. It's the 3-0 pitch. That is, ooh, that's in there for strike one. That looked outside. So I'll let you know if it is a new pitcher once I get word on it. Here's the pitch home, and that is ball four. Thought he might call it. Looked like it was on the inside corner, or very close to it. A close call. Mitch Jones does work the walk now with one out. Up to bat is Josh Wilson. As that gets to the backstop, Mitch Jones going to run into second. Going to be an easy, wild pitch. So it is number 41, which would be Connor Elliott. Which I don't know if they switched or that was really who it was the whole time, because it was between 40 and 41 on their lineup. They had them both right next to the pitcher section. Either way, now it is Connor Elliott on the mound with Mitch Jones at second base. A 1-0 count against Josh Wilson. That hits him. He's not happy with it. Hit him hard there. Pitcher's talking to Josh Wilson. Jawing at each other a little bit. Maybe he's apologizing. Thought they were about to run into each other, but Josh Wilson going to throw his stuff back at the plate and walk over to first. Connor Elliott with the hit by pitch.
Next to the plate, back to the top, number 18, the third baseman, Preston Sheldon.
So that brings up Preston Shelton. Apparently, it has been Connor Elliott this whole time unless they have the numbers wrong on their roster. So excuse me to Matt Sullivan if I've been saying what's going on for you. It's been Connor Elliott. His pitch home is in there against Preston Shelton. Don't want to give anyone the blame, but the roster sheet was written a tad bit off with the pitcher section. Preston Shelton grounds that softly over their shortstop. Going to be a tough play. The throw over to first is going to be in time for out number two. It's another softly hit ground ball from Preston Shelton where he just barely gets called out. Does bring up Johnny Wall. Johnny Wall second in our batting order. He has no hits on the game. has not been on base yet, but he is second in our batting order, and he's hitting the highest on the River Bandits, highest batting average, that is. He looks at ball one. No, batting average is not the only important stat. A lot of people don't believe batting average is too important. This is the 1-0 pitch. He hits that hard into center field. That's going to bring a run home. We'll see if he gets sent home. He's going to go. Nope, he gets stopped. Good job to stop him. Oliver Zahn showcasing that arm once again. Colin Hughes stays over at third. A very smart decision, but it does bring home another run for the River Bandits. Johnny Wall with an RBI single. Cruz Newman has a hit on the game in 2 at-bats, trying to get another one here with runners on the first and third. Pitch home is in there for strike one. We have Colin Hughes at third base, and first base have the man who just got the RBI single in Johnny Wall. 0-1 count against Cruz Newman. Connor Elliott at the plate, on the mound. 1-1. Two outs, runners on the corners. We're in the bottom half of the fourth. Here's the pitch home, and that's outside. Ball 2. Connor Elliott on the game, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 6. Understand those are runners on the corners. Tough spot for him. Here's the pitch home, and Cruz Newman grounds it out over to second. Easy play for their second baseman, Caden Rector. Going to be out number 3. River Bandits strand him on the corners, but they do add one with a Johnny Wall RBI single. That'll be the end of the 4th inning. River Bandits up 6-2. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Camden Martindale's coming out on the mound again. His second consecutive inning pitch. He came in relief for Ian Askin. Askin went 3 strong innings. Martindale pitched the 4th. Now ball 1 against Caden Rector. Caden Rector leading off for the Twins as the manager for the Twins coming out. Caden Rector having to restart his at-bat once again, the second time this game, when runner tries to steal home and is unsuccessful for the Twins, and Caden Rector was in the middle of his at-bat both times. Didn't mention it, but that 17-6 win against the Twins the last time they played, it was only through 7 as the River Bandits were just continuing to add on the runs. Neither team wanted to continue using pitchers, so they called the game as Camden Martindale's pitch is in there for strike 1. 2-6 ball game now. Not as high a scoring, but plenty of chances as almost halfway through the game, so plenty of game left. That's a low for ball 2. Martindale does have 1 run against him, but with the error from Preston Shelton, it's not counted. That was, I believe he was going to be home either way, but still not counted against Martindale. Now a 2-2 count. Martindale has a walk and a strikeout in his 1 inning pitched. Here's the 2-2. That is low for ball 3. It's a good pitch. Good job laying off that from Caden Rector. Martindale in that first inning had 17 pitches. Now he's at 22. Here's the pitch home, the payoff pitch. He hits that into right field. Essen Snyder backing up, and he's got it for out number 1. A little fly out over to right field, and Essen Snyder makes the play. Brings up Billy Waldron, the right fielder. Waldron has already worked 2 walks this game. Trying to work another, facing a different pitcher for the first time this game. There's the pitch home, and he just gets a piece of it, fouls it back for strike 1. Camden Martindale trying to go 1-2-3. River Bandits have not done it this game. River Bandits pitching haven't. River Bandits got sent 1-2-3 in the first inning. Got nothing going against Connor Elliott, but second inning they got 5 runs. Martindale's pitch is low for ball 1. Last inning is a high throw from Shelton at third base. Tough play as that's fouled back again to the backstop. Ian Askin in line for his second win in his 2 starts, and that'll be his last one. He rips that down the right field side. It's going to go into their bullpen, though, and foul. One, 2 count here against Billy Waldron. Trying to get him out for the first time this game, and it's exactly what he does. A foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Josh Wilson catches it and gets out number 2. Great pitching from Camden Martindale and a great catch from Josh Wilson to catch the foul tip. Two outs, nobody on. It could be 1-2-3. It's Dylan Sullivan, their DH, looks at strike 1. Camden Martindale's 0-1 pitch, and the batter cannot hold up. Dylan Sullivan can't check because that was outside, but he gets the strike. That pitch came in there at 73 miles per hour. Nice breaking ball from Martindale. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that is just outside for ball 1. It's exactly where he wanted it, though. Dylan Sullivan holds up. Sullivan, their cleanup hitter tonight. Sullivan does have a hit in his 2 at-bats. Here's the pitch home, and he strikes out. Camden Martindale goes 1-2-3 for the River Bandits. First time in this game for them, and it brings the River Bandits' hot bats back up quickly. We'll see you here in the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Eston Snyder leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for the River Bandits. River Bandits up in this game 6-2 against the Fuquay Varina Twins. The Twins have a new pitcher on the mound. So I'll get you his info in just a moment. Eston Snyder has a hit and a run in this game. As Snyder hits it hard in the center field, Oliver Zahn backing up. As he looks at that one, hit the wall. Eston Snyder's going to run into third safely as Oliver Zahn. Oh my Lord, he has a great arm. He throws it too hard, so that arm does not work out well as Snyder's going to get home. I don't know if you call that an in-the-park home run. I don't think you would because it is an error, but he gets home in one hit. Nobody gets him home but himself. So Eston Snyder hits a ball deep to the center field wall. Oliver Zahn can't make a play on it. Overthrows it to third base. And it gets into the dugout. Brings home Snyder a big run for Eston Snyder. That was fun to see. I guess I would call that a double and an error. Nonetheless, he gets a run for it. Pitch home against Colin Hughes is in there for strike one. Now we have Matt Sullivan on the mound. So I confused the two. They wrote him in as Matt Sullivan was coming in first, and he did not. So Colin Hughes gets a piece of that, but he's early on it. Oh, 2 pitch. This time he gets a barrel on it again, rips it. Again, he's early on it. So an 0-2 count, lefty-lefty matchup against Colin Hughes. The pitch home as that hits the dirt, bounces up to the backstop for ball one. One and two against Colin Hughes. The pitch home bounces up again for ball two. So 2 consecutive foul balls that Colin Hughes ripped into. He was too early on him, and looks like you can kind of see Matt Sullivan's fastball. So he's pitching in the dirt twice in a row. Here's the pitch home, and this time he strikes out. Goes reaching for that one, and that's out number 1. Brings up Max Bernal. No one on the bases because Eston Snyder hit it to center field and got home on a overthrow from Oliver Zahn. Lefty-lefty matchup again. That hits him in the back. Max Bernal now hit by a pitch twice in this game. Can't really showcase his bat, but he has gotten on twice, helping that on-base percentage as he hasn't played much. This is his 4th game. A great job from Max Bernal to continue to get on base. Brings up Keith Gardner. Keith Gardner also been hit by a pitch this game, and he's got brought home in that 2nd inning. He looks at a ball low for ball 1. Max Bernal over there at first base. On deck is Ethan Barnes. Matt Sullivan doesn't have a run earned against him, but while he's been pitching, has that run in Eston Snyder. First lefty-righty matchup as that is low for ball 2. So a 2-0 count here against Keith Gardner. He tries to rip into that. He pops it up. Is there a play? No play. Wow, hits the top of the stadium hard. So a 2-1 count. Man on first, and Max Bernal. Here's the pitch home, and that is low. For ball 3, Keith Gardner working a good at bat here. Trying to get on with Ethan Barnes on deck. And that is way inside, almost hits him again. Would have been the second time Keith Gardner had been hit as well, but he works the walk instead. Brings up Ethan Barnes. Brings up Ethan Barnes, hitting .242 on the season with a .359 on base percentage. Has 8 hits, 6 singles, a double, and a home run. Ethan Barnes has 4 RBIs, 8 runs, and 4 walks. Trying to get another RBI here. Had on to it with a man on second. He rips that into left center field. That is off the top of the wall. It's going to bring home 1. Keith Gardner most likely stopped at third. Going to be an RBI double for Ethan Barnes. Just so close to getting out of there at left center field. Almost hits the top yellow. Does bring home Max Bernal. River Bandits extend that lead now at 8-2 as Ethan Barnes ripped that to center field. He absolutely smoked that ball. Thought it had a chance of being a line drive home run. Now Mitch Jones at the plate as that bounces off the dirt for ball 1. Mitch Jones on the game has a hit, an RBI, a walk, and a run. Big game for Mitch. He's trying to add on to that. He has 2 men in scoring position. And now a 2-0 count against him. He can get the pitch he wants as Ethan Barnes and Eston Snyder have both ripped balls against Matt Sullivan when he's come in and for relief from Connor Elliott. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and he thought he had the pitch he wanted. That curveball fools him, ties him up for strike 1. Keith Gardner over at third. Sac fly in play with Mitch Jones as Mitch Jones looks at that inside. Thought it had a chance of hitting him. Would have been the third hit by pitch of the game. 2 against Max Bernal and 1 for Keith Gardner. Max Bernal just got brought home. Keith Gardner worked a walk this inning. He's at third. Here's the 3-1 pitch. He gets a pitch he thinks he likes, and he hits it into center field softly. That's going to bring home 1 to Keith Gardner. The runner's going to slide in safely for the second RBI or second run this inning for that hit. Not this inning. As Ethan Barnes slides in safely. That was a 2 RBI single and a reach from Mitch Jones. Adds on to his big day. Brings up a pinch hitter in Brandon Phillips in for Josh Wilson. We'll see if Phillips Daniels comes behind the plate for the rest of this game or if they can move Colin Hughes. I don't think they can because he's extra hitting tonight. But a massive hit from Mitch Jones as he hits it right in the gap. Pitcher can't get to it, Matt Sullivan, and it gets right in between Caden Rector and Jackson Masterson to get in the center field. It was hit so softly that it brought home the man from third and Keith Gardner, and second Ethan Barnes comes in and slides in safely. I was tripped up on my words on the play there, but nonetheless 2 runs in for the River Bandits. Now a 10-2 lead as each time they played the Twins, they've had 8 or more runs. 8 runs in that opening night, won 8-6 that game, and then 17 runs in the second game they played. They won 17-6 through 7 innings. Now we're in the bottom of the 5th. 10 runs against the Twins, 10-2 game. River Bandits scored 17 last night against the Scallywags. Brandon Phillips at the plate now with Mitch Jones at second and 1 out, a 10-2 ball game against Matt Sullivan. They just had a mound meeting with him as that is outside and low for ball 1. So in the chat, we had Jax Quincy comment. I don't see it anymore, but he did comment. Max Bernal went with Adam Quincy to an amusement park. I hope that was a fun time. And now Mr. B says, let's go Bandits with a question mark. Why is there a question mark, Mr. B? I've seen you in here before. I know you're cheering for the Bandits. Maybe you meant to put an exclamation point. Now a 2-0 count against Brandon Phillips. Mitch Jones at second, and Brandon Phillips looks at ball 3. Runner's going to go into third. Mitch Jones gets into third safely with a pass ball. Now a 3-0 count. And Mitch Jones 90 feet away from the 11th run of the ball game. And that is upstairs for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk for Brandon Phillips and his pinch at bat for Josh Wilson. Brings up the top of our batting order, Preston Shelton with men on the corners and 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th. Preston Shelton up at the plate. He tries to rip into that one. Can't get a piece of it for strike 1. Shelton on the day has an RBI. It was an RBI ground out, but he's grounded out all 3 at bats. Runner's going to go as Shelton gets a piece of it, flies it into center field. Oliver Zahn gets under it. It's going to be a sac fly for Preston Shelton. Another sacrifice hit for Shelton. He has 2 RBIs on the day with no hits. Mitch Jones runs in safely for the 11th run of the ball game. Brings up Johnny Wall, who has a hit and RBI this game in his last at bat. Now we're in the bottom half of the 5th and an 11-2 ball game. 9 hits for the River Bandits. Johnny Wall looks at a strike on the outside corner. Another 5-run inning here in Tarboro for the River Bandits. 5 in the 2nd and now 5 in the 5th. Trying to get another. Brandon Phillips going to run into second with a wild pitch from Matt Sullivan. 1-1 against Johnny Wall. Lefty-righty matchup with Brandon Phillips in scoring position. And he gets a piece of it, hits it into shallow right field. That's going to bring Brandon Phillips home. And there's going to be a throw cut off. Nope, not cut off, but either way, not in time. Brandon Phillips gets in safely. An RBI knock for Johnny Wall, his 2nd of the game, 2nd hit of the game as well.
Wall brings in the run next to the plate, number 5, the left fielder.
Lefty-lefty matchup here against Cruz Newman. He fouls that out of play. Now a 12-2 ball game after Johnny Wall got another RBI single to make it 12-2. That's the 10th hit of the game for the River Bandits. They hit double digits once again. They did it last night as well. Here's the pitch home. That is low, hits the dirt. Runner's going to stay put, though, as catcher Ethan Robinson gets in front of it. 1-1 count. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be an exclamation point, Mr. B. I knew you've been watching. I know you're a fan. Glad you're supporting. I hope you're liking the stream. That breaking ball is upstairs. Sale's upstairs for ball 2. So now a 6-run inning for the River Bandits, more than the 5 in the 2nd. Oh, he gets a piece of that one. That is way out of here to right field. Cruz Newman with a bomb. Big hit to make it 14-2. First home run of the game They did have 12 runs, but now it's still the first home run of the game. And Cruz Newman does a little Euro step over at third. 2-run shot to right field. That was a no-doubter. River Bandits are celebrating as now they've had 17 runs last game and now 14 here, and we're only in the bottom half of the fifth. Who knows if this game's called early, as the last one was against the Twins. Pitching change here. There is music playing, so I have gone muted, but I'll let you know what's going on right when we get back. Ben Smith on the mound in relief. The third pitcher, Connor Elliott started. Matt Sullivan in relief. And here's the pitch home to Essen Snyder. Cruz Newman just absolutely destroyed a ball to right field. That ball was smashed. Joyea. So Essen Snyder looks at strike one. 1-1 now. On deck is Colin Hughes. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball is high and inside for ball 2. It's Ben Smith trying to get the one out here. He came in with 2 outs and no one on the bases because Matt Sullivan let up a no-doubter to right field from Cruz Newman. 2-1 pitch. That's outside for ball 3. 14-2 ball game here. Now an 8-run inning. So I did predict a big inning. I was thinking it was going to be the second inning. The second inning was big, as that is ball 4. Essen Snyder works the walk in 5 pitches, and Colin Hughes is up to bat. Colin Hughes up at the plate, a righty-lefty matchup, as he has a hit, a run, and a walk this game. does have a strikeout on one of his at-bats. He looks at a ball high. Looked like it could have been called a strike from my angle as Eston Snyder's over there at first. He worked the walk. Eston Snyder had 2 hits, 2 runs before that. Now he has a walk to his resume this game. Ooh, that was outside. Sorry, don't yell at me, but that was outside. 1-1 nonetheless. Ben Smith on the mound as Colin Hughes tries to rip into that one. Just gets under it, but he pops it out of play. So 1-2 count for Ben Smith trying to get out of this inning. He came in with 2 outs. Now a 14-2 ball game. 5 in the second, now 8 in the fifth. Here's a pitch home, and that just misses. That pitch looked more in there than the pitch that was called a strike. 2-2. Colin Hughes, the man on first. That's outside. He works it full. It is really fun to watch these games when they're hitting good. They have these type of games when they absolutely just destroy the balls, and it's fun to watch. The runner goes, and that is going to be a walk either way. I don't know. That looked to be a strike to me, but maybe a makeup call, but it was a payoff pitch. Must have been inside, as it was over the plate, but that brings up Max Bernal, who's been hit by a pitch twice. Max Bernal at the plate, runners on first and second. Eston Snyder at second, Colin Hughes at first. He hits that softly towards their shortstop, almost hits him, doesn't hit him. Now it's a hard play for Jackson Masterson, and there's no play. Eston Snyder probably created the havoc over there for Jackson Masterson, and if it hit him, it would have been an out, but it does not hit him. He gets over to third, and Max Bernal gets the base knock. Or I don't know, they might rule it an error, but by the time he got to that ball, it was a tough play either way. Brings up Keith Gardner with the bases loaded. Lefty-righty matchup. Keith Gardner goes hacking for that one, trying to get the home run as Cruz Newman did. He'd love a grand slam here. Mr. B, stats, I do not think the stats are posted anywhere but Game Changer. Keith Gardner fouls that off. Is unfortunate as Game Changer does cost some money. But that's where I get all my stats. I'm letting you know all from there. Try to read you off the stats as much as possible. I know you'd love to see them after the game and stuff. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's inside. Gets to the backstop. Runner's going to get home safely. Another run for the River Bandits makes it 15-2 as Eston Snyder runs in with no throw. Now, bases are not loaded anymore. 1-2 count against Keith Gardner. He could still get 2 home with a base knock. Two outs. Here's a 1-2 pitch. He rips it over to the shortstop, Jackson Masterson. The play over to first. The throw is going to be high, but he stays on the bag for out number 3. River Bandits add on 9 in the inning, make it 15-2 at the end of the 5th inning. That'll be the end of the 5th. And we'll see here on the top of the 6th. We'll let you know who's coming out. It was a long time if Camden Martindale's going to come out again. I don't think it is Martindale, but we'll let you know. Reagan Bernard leading off, top of the 6th. As Lee Watson coming out on the mound for the River Bandits, throws in strike 1. Oh and 1 against him as that breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. Reagan Bernard trying to start something. Twins have a long way if they want to come back in this game. 1-1 count. Pitch home. He gets a big swing and a miss. Big hack for strike 2. Lee Watson on the season, 17 2/3 innings pitched. He's 1-3 win-loss ratio. He has 18 hits against him, 9 earned runs, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts, 2 hits by pitches, and a 4.58 ERA. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's outside for ball 2. The 2-2 against Bernard. He grounds it out over to Johnny Walt short. A chopper, the throw over to first to Max Bernal in time for out number 1. Quick out for Lee Watson to start the inning. Brings up Connor Wong. That was a pinch hit in Bernard, and now another pinch hit in Connor Wong, which I've made this joke, I think, both times, but I'm a Red Sox fan, and Red Sox catcher is Connor Wong. He's fun to watch. We'll see how Connor Wong can hit here for the Twins as that pitch is upstairs for ball 1. (1-0) against Wong. And that makes it 2-0. That was outside. No one on the bases. A lot of energy from the River Bandits as they such a big lead, but now it's calmed down a little bit. Now they're on the outfield. 2-1, 12 hits for the Bandits, 3 for the Twins, an error on both sides. Here's a pitch home, and that's in there on the outside black for strike 2. Never know if this game's going to get called. A blowout here. This is the pitch home, and he gets a big swing and a miss on the payoff pitch from Lee Watson. Brings up for the Twins, Ross McLeod. Lefty-righty matchup, 3 pinch hits in this inning. Trying to get something going is the Twins manager, but Lee Watson pitching well. 2 consecutive outs start the inning, trying to go 1-2-3. So he gets the strike 1 call. He has the pink bat, it's a cool bat. But he grounds out over to Preston Shelton at third. A little chopper, the throw over to first to Max Bernal. A little offline, but Max Bernal stays on the bag for out number 3. Be the end of the inning for the River Bandits, as might have been J.B. Bell filling in for Preston Shelton at third. I did not realize they put him out there. But either way, River Bandits go 1-2-3 with great pitching from Lee Watson. So we'll see you here in the bottom half of the 6th. You're watching the River Ethan Barnes up to bat to lead the bottom half of the sixth as he ripped a double the last inning, and I can see that the camera must have been hit during the break, so I'm gonna have to try to fix that as soon as I can. I can't while they're pitching, obviously, but during this next half inning I will go down and try to fix that to the best of my abilities. I won't be able to bring the camera shot with me, but what are you gonna do? So now a 3-0 count here against Ethan Barnes. 3 pitches, 3 balls. So they're having a little meeting here. Maybe after this Ethan Barnes at bat, I might go try to fix it.
With a 10-run rule in effect, last call for alcohol is currently now. Hurry up, run, get some.
Well, there is a 10-run rule in the PCL League. So this is the last inning. So I'm sorry that the camera angle for the last inning is not that great. Ethan Barnes works the leadoff walk. Mitch Jones now at the plate. I'm sorry again about camera angle. Must have gotten hit during the break from one of the pitches. That ball's inside for ball 1. But this is the last inning of the game, so once again, sorry about that. Still hope it was a fun stream as Mitch Jones gets hit in the back, in the tailbone. That cannot feel good. Trying to walk it off, trying to bend down. Mitch Jones hit in the tailbone. Now going to walk over to first once he starts to feel a little bit better. Still trying to walk it off, just take a little breather. It's tough to get hit there. That's not a good spot, but that's the 4th hit by pitch of the game. Is a lot of wild pitching here from the Twins. Brings up Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips now at the plate with runners on first and second. As there's a ball outside. Mitch Jones hit by a pitch. He's at first. On second is Ethan Barnes. He worked to walk the lead off the inning. Now a 2-0 count against Brandon Phillips. Doesn't look like there's any work in the bullpen for the Twins because they know this game is about to be called. Just throwing out there, letting him finish this game. And by him, I mean Ben Smith from Amherst University. Going out to finish the game. He's in a 2-1 count. There's a big swing and a miss from Brandon Phillips. Phillips trying to get his bat hot again as he was out for an extended period of time with a shoulder injury. But he's back now, and he's been batting well. He grounds out over to second. Chopper, tough play, but no play at second. Throws over to first for out number 1. Brings up J.B. Bell, who came in at third base for Preston Shelton. Now he's pinch hitting for him. Taking over that third base spot, which is first in the batting order. So a 1-0 count for J.B. Bell. Excuse me about Brandon Phillips. He's only played one game since, and that was that Clayton Clovers game here in Tarboro, which they lost 7-8. He had a walk and 2 strikeouts in that game. But his stats still look good as he was batting really good before he had that shoulder injury. They're trying to work him back in there. Second game back. Since that, a 2-0 pitch to J.B. Bell. J.B. Bell swings at that, foul tips it for strike one. Glad the whole camera angle is still on the view. I know it's very awkward with it being so slanted like that as J.B. Bell looks at ball 3. First base is open for him if he works the walk, and it would be loaded for Johnny Wall. Johnny Wall's having a good game himself. He could add on to that. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's in there on the outside corner for strike 2. It's now a full count against J.B. Bell. J.B. Bell on the season hitting .224. He has a .409 on base percentage, though, as that's in there for strike 3. J.B. Bell gets rung up. Goes down looking. Johnny Wall on the game. Has 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a run. You'd love to see him get another one to add to his stat sheet as that's upstairs for ball 1. Johnny Wall doesn't have a walk this game. He works one here. That would be big as that gets to the backstop. Runners are going to stay put. It's thrown hard and gets right back to their catcher, Ethan Robinson, very quickly. Now a 2-0 count, which on deck is Cruz Newman, who hit that bomb to right field. The no-doubter, you love to see him get another at-bat as well. Johnny Wall and Cruz Newman, 2 of the hitters getting it going this game. Actually, a lot of hitters getting it going. Really, no one had a super bad night. Preston Shelton didn't have a hit, but he had 2 RBIs, and he's one of the only men without a hit. So that's inside for ball 3. Josh Wilson didn't have a hit. He had an RBI. Keith Gardner didn't have a hit, but he had an RBI walk and 2 runs. That pitch is in there for strike 1. 3-1 now. So literally everyone having a good night as that is in there for strike 2. Another full count worked back. Worked back from Ben Smith. This could be the end of the game here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's inside for ball 4. Johnny Wall works the walk. Oh, he does work the walk. There's a little confusion there. He thought that was ball 3, but he does work the walk, and it brings up Cruz Newman. I really wanted to see another at-bat from him after he hit that no-doubter. Going to have a talk with him on the mound. No chance there's a pitching change, but maybe trying to calm him down. Well, maybe there is a pitching change. He just handed the ball off to someone. Infield is coming in, and don't know why there would be if they're calling the game after this inning. Maybe they're putting a position player out there. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Well, we'll let you know once we get word. Looks like it is a pitching change. We'll let you know who it is. I thought the game might be called after 7, Joea, 1970, but I was told that it was after this, but maybe you could be right. I could have misheard. But the bases are now loaded for Armani Newton pinch hitting for Cruz Newman. So I don't get to see that Cruz Newman at bat that I was hoping for, but Armani Newton is a amazing at bat to watch as well. He looks at ball one. That looked like a strike. So 1-0 count. On the mound now is Dylan Sullivan, who has had plenty of at-bats this game, and putting in position player on the mound. I don't really understand it when they were 1 out away, but that is not my call. So the 2-0 pitch to Armani Newton is inside for ball 3. Could prolong this game, but that's what the Twins wanted to do in a 15-2 ball game. 3-0 count with the bases loaded to Armani Newton, and he works a walk. He gets a free RBI. This doesn't have to swing the bat. Looks at 4 pitches outside of the zone.
Next to the plate, number 2, a legend.
Well, we're getting to see plenty of at-bats from our players tonight. We've had J.B. Bell pinch hit, Armani Newton pitch hit, and now Boogie Saunders is at the plate, facing off against Dylan Sullivan on the mound. Dylan Sullivan was their DH tonight. And now they are switching pitchers once again. Well, they really trying to prolong this game. So we'll have another pitching change, and we'll see you back here, let you know who number 12 is. Boogie Saunders at the plate, pinch hitting for Ethan Barnes. Is strike 1 called against him. And the new pitcher on the mound is Zachary Odom from Averett University. I imagine another position player. Went down to fix the camera. I fixed it just a little bit. Boogie Saunders rips into that foul. Boogie Saunders down on the count 0-2 with 2 outs and the bases loaded against Zachary Odom, a lefty-righty matchup. On deck is Colin Hughes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Boogie Saunders rips it down the third base line, and third baseman Nolan Lawrence can't get it. That's going to bring 1 run home, and Mitch Jones another run home, and Armani Newton's going to stay at second. Second run home is going to be Johnny Wall. Makes it, I think, 17-5. Was there 3 runs brought home there? No, it's 17-5. Our scoreboard here says 18-5. Brings up Colin Hughes, who is not getting a pinch at bat here. Oh, it is 18-2. I was wrong. Must have missed a run earlier. Colin Hughes 1 for 2 on the game. Has 1 run and 2 walks. Has Boogie Saunders at first and Armani Newton at second. That's outside. Oh, no way. Sorry. I'm supposed to be as neutral as possible, but that was not a strike. I think this umpire's trying to go home. 1-1 count. He hits that into left center field. Will it drop? Left fielder gets to it, and that'll be the end of the inning. Boogie Saunders does bring home a couple more runs, though, with a rip down the third base line. That'll be the end of the 6th inning. And I think you're right, Joea in the chat. It will get called after the 7th, not the 6th. So we'll see you here in the 7th inning before the game is called. So you're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Ethan Robinson leading off for the Fuquay Varina Twins. They're down 18-2 here in this game as Dawson Wiggins coming out on the mound for the River Bandits. He throws ball 1 to Ethan Robinson. After this half inning, I believe the game will be called as there's a big swing and a miss unless Twins put up 16 runs in this inning. Never going to put down that any team has a chance. So that pitch is in there for strike 2. Dawson Wiggins, great pitch. Thank you, the camera was fixed. Yeah, I think I fixed it pretty well. A little bit more the first base side. Just fouled off, he stays alive. And Max had a hit by pitch last night too. Oh, wow, I did not know that. I was no stream for last night's game. I did look at some of the stats. I didn't see hit by pitch, but Max is bringing them up, bringing that on-base percentage up as well. So now 1-2 pitch, and Robinson's going to step off for a moment. Calls time. And now they're going to have a meeting on the mound. Dawson Wiggins is going to talk to, actually don't know exactly who came in. It most likely Phillips Daniels. Colin Hughes, our extra hitter tonight, usually plays catcher if he plays a position and not an extra hitter. And Josh Wilson started at catcher, and our other catcher is Phillips Daniels, so I imagine he came in to catch. Dawson Wiggins in a 1-2 count against Ethan Robinson. His pitch home. It's outside for ball 2. Dawson Wiggins on the season has pitched eight innings pitched with 46 batters faced. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that's in there for strike 3. He freezes Ethan Robinson on the outside corner. He puts him out for out number 1. Brings up Mike Vendetti, who's pinch hitting here. Hasn't been in at all at this game, but they're getting some of their players some at-bats in a blowout 18-2 win for the River Bandits. I guess I don't want to call it a win yet. You never know. Here's the first pitch home from Wiggins, and that's in there for strike 1. Pitch home, fouled back, out of play. Dawson Wiggins in a 0-2 count against Mike Vendetti. Hope you all are enjoying the stream. Here's the pitch home. He hits it hard over Dawson Wiggins' hand or glove. It's going to be a base knock in the center field for Mike Vendetti. Brings up Oliver Zahn, who at center field has a cannon, but he also had too much of a cannon earlier in the game where he tried to throw over to third to keep Eston Snyder from advancing, and he threw it over to their third baseman, Nolan Lawrence's head, and went into the dugout, and that brought home Eston Snyder on a long double. Hit center field wall. It was very close to being out, but did knock it out. The only ball that got out today was Cruz Newman's bomb to right field. It technically was a home run, if you want to call it that. He got home and his at bat. Didn't have anyone else bring him home as Dawson Wiggins' first pitch of the at bat gets in there for strike 1 against Zahn. Vendetti over at first base. Wiggins looks over. 0-1 count, 1 out, 18-2 ball game. Here's the pitch home. That almost hits him. Backs out of the way. Makes it 1-1. 1-1 count with 1 out against Zahn. Trying to end this ball game and get the save is Wiggins. And that is inside. And this time it hits him. It skims him in the arm. So a base knock and a hit by pitch for Dawson Wiggins as he's going to try to get out of this self-inflicted jam. Brings up Caden Rector. Caden Rector is not getting a pinch hit here. He's had a few at-bats this game. He's had a few at-bats having to restart the at-bats because a runner stole home twice during him, and he got to restart them, so he got a second chance. The 0-1, or the 0-0 pitch is now 0-1 with runners on first and second. On the game, Caden Rector has a walk and a run. Not a lot to show for the Twins offense today. A lot to show for the River Bandits offense. There's a lot to talk about with that aspect. A 1-1 count now as Wiggins' pitch goes low. Wiggins on the season, 5 games played. His pitch home is in there for strike 2. That looked outside and high. That's in there for strike 2. Wiggins has no wins, no losses. Doesn't have a save. This would be his first save. He has 10 hits on the season against him, 9 earned runs, 10 walks, 6 strikeouts, 5 hit by pitch pitches and a 10.12 ERA. As that's in there for strike 3. Caden Rector's not happy with it. John with the umpire, but he freezes him on the full count.
Next up, number 8.
Or the 1-2 count, excuse me. Rector still not happy about it. Brings up Billy Waldron. Pitch home is, that's just misses, ball 1. Now that one looked like a strike. A little bit of inconsistency here at the end of the game, but for the most part a well-called game from the umpires. Was mostly over at the point of the inconsistency. So a 2-0 count now. 18-2 ball game, 13 hits for the River Bandits, 4 for the Twins. It's always fun to watch the River Bandits slash. Pitch home is fouled out of play for strike 1. 2 strikes away from winning this ball game. Gets to center field on the throw back from Daniels. Dawson Wiggins is a New York Yankees fan. See that on the Sideline HD. Still love him, though, even though I'm a Red Sox fan. Still fun to watch. Here's a 2-1 pitch. He fouls that out of play again. Johnny Waldo is a Red Sox fan. I've also seen that on Sideline HD, so have someone on my side of the rivalry. Dawson Wiggins a strike away from ending this game and stranding those runners on first and second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounds it out over to second base. Mitch Jones's throw over to first to Max Bernal in time, and the River Bandits are going to win the game 18-2. Another beatdown of an opponent for the River Bandits. First the Scallywags 17-0, and now the Fuquay Varina Twins 18-2. They're going to try to stay hot as this upcoming week. They still have plenty of games to be played here in Tarboro on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll be here in Tarboro, so come out, bring your family, bring your friends, get some sausage dogs, get some beverages, and have some fun here in Tarboro. On Thursday and Friday, they play the I can't pronounce this place, but they play the Valley Stars. Have to figure that out for the next game. Want to be able to say that then. They play them on Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, they play the Norfolk Redbirds. So, lots of games to be played this week. They're hoping to stay on this win streak. They've won 2 in a row with some hot at-bats for the River Bandits, and we'll see if they can keep them hot for the next 3 days on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We do have an off day tomorrow, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. Thank you for watching the stream. We really thank you for tuning in each game, and we love that you're able to watch. We love watching the River Bandits win. They're now 13-11 on the season. I'm Dominic Kaselke. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you here on Thursday night.